Hello, this is Daniel. I figured I'd get my final presentation in. I know that as only one member of the group, I should only have about 2 minutes, so I will try and keep it to that for Globus. But I did want to show some sort of contribution towards the presentation as a whole. As we start looking, of course, we're going to be presenting the vision and the mission. Really, we decided these during the practice round, which added a very difficult unflexibility, rather. We did stay with this throughout most of the competition, especially this with our overall strategy. The overall strategy, of course, being a focused low cost. About 1/4 of the way in to about halfway through, we started wondering, as soon as we saw Team B come back so quickly, whether or not it was actually allowing this focused low-cost strategy to work. We really did try and focus on some of the lens quality instead of any of the other form factors for the camera, which at the end of the day, I believe would have been very good in terms of being able to undercut the rest of the market. But for a focused low-cost strategy, we didn't end up being able to fight out any of the what I think were overall low-cost or low-cost providers. Of course, our objectives, we did have a measure for short-term and long-term, but overall, all of them maintained their status mostly because of the position we were in consistently. Of course, being dominant competition is a bit presumptuous when we're in last place. As we look at our wins, we did have some wins in terms of focusing on our imaging, projecting sales to some degree. Investing in R&D was probably the best decision we made in terms of undercutting costs. And we are certainly proud of the turnaround that happened in the last couple weeks, especially from such a detrimental year 11. We did try and repurchase shares, and we stopped giving dividends, but we didn't know whether or not that was actually helping or hurting. Of course, our losses are going to be talked about more extensively in the presentation, but really, I think tried copying instead of trendsetting really did sort of define our first half of how we tried to address the market. And then, of course, we're trying to work in somewhat of an oversaturated market with some decisions, including decreasing the number of models that really didn't help us overall. So finally, of course, I'm not sure if I should keep F-bomb in there, but they did promise that. They made me promise that I would keep my picture in here. Final notes: practice versus real life. We don't know whether or not our company would have been a long-term success, which is actually one of the points that we thought would be really amazing. But in terms of the verse, we thought it was appropriate for the actual results. Also, that quote, "Christopher should have taken over," really speaks to, I guess, sort of the management tension that started to occur as we kept losing. I really did feel like Melissa Mayer to some degree, because at one point I really didn't want to be seen as a leader, but I don't know. Socially, that's how it ended up. Alright. I forgot. I can't wait for them to click. It's going to happen. It's going to be great.